Welcome back. All right, and we're back. We're back with a discussion on the Evgeny Dadonov situation, and it's awkward. I feel bad for Dadonov. He submits the 10-team no trade, right? He submits that to Ottawa. As far as he knows, that went to Vegas, right? There's no reason to go to Vegas management and go, hey, so they gave you the 10-team no trade list, right? Why would he do that? So a situation that we saw months ago, right, where they pick up Jack Eichel from Buffalo, and we're looking at that and going, they don't have cap space. So the speculation was they need to trade Riley Smith, they need to trade probably Dadonov. Those were the two that it looked like they'd need to trade in order to make enough space for everybody to fit. Vegas, being Vegas, it just feels like there's sort of this, we'll figure that out later. We'll get this player in now, we'll do this now, we'll figure out the rest of it later. Later's now. So their current cap space, according to Cap Friendly, is $405,833. It's not enough for the LTIR people. So you've got Martinez at $5.25 million, Stone at $9.5 million. And so you've got a team that's built to challenge for the cup now. This is what we always hear, right? Oh, Vegas is going to be one of the favorites. Everybody loves Vegas in the West. Vegas has a really good chance. Vegas is currently below the playoff line. And I know people want to blame Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel has not been as effective for Vegas as he had been in Buffalo. 18 games so far for Eichel, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. And he's a -1. Vegas's record with him in the lineup is below 500. And this is a team that's below the playoff line. And I will say this, I feel bad for Eichel, not because he gets paid a lot of money, not because, it's not like it's somebody else's fault he has 5 goals in 18 games. But I feel bad because people will focus on him rather than what happened to cause this. This, again, is a situation where, and the team's done this every year, not really worried about the salary cap. They'll figure that out. Now they'll figure it out. And now they've kind of gotten bit. So now you've got Marc-Andre Fleury is in Minnesota, right? Minnesota's the team that's above the playoff line right now, and they're looking at Fleury and Talbot as a 1A, 1B that would be pretty fantastic come playoff time, potentially, right? So they have a goaltending situation where Leonard's hurt. So Leonard's out. He's on the injured reserve, not on the long-term injured reserve. Do you do that? Do you put Leonard on LTIR so you can get Martinez back in the lineup if Martinez is ready and end up with a situation where you're going to have Brossoit and Thompson the rest of the way? The whole time, people have said, well, it's fine because in the playoffs there's no salary cap. You have to make the playoffs, though. That's the thing. The whole Tampa Bay argument doesn't work if your team doesn't make the playoffs. So, looking at Eichel's numbers, and then you look at Mark Stone's 28 games, 8 goals, 20 assists, and he's a +7. Mark Stone is a machine when it comes to causing turnovers in the middle of the ice. He is absolutely fantastic when it comes to the defensive aspect of the game, and he scores a point per game. Stone being out of the lineup has absolutely hurt Vegas the whole time they've been without him. Part of the reason they're below the playoff line is not having Stone in the lineup. And Martinez has only played 11 games, 3 assists, a +3. And again, there have been rumblings that Martinez is getting closer to a return. And that by trading out Dadonov, that would have given them close to enough cap space to bring back Martinez if they need to. At the very least, and you demote somebody to the minors and you put Martinez in. Now we're in a situation where if Stone and Martinez were good to go, you have to have a team on the ice that's cap compliant. You'd have to sit like 4 players, at least. You'd have to sit somebody that makes a lot of money. The Vegas Golden Knights have got themselves in quite the pickle. So what the NHL's basically said is, look, Dadonov did his due diligence. He submitted the 10-team list. Anaheim was on it. It's on Vegas for not knowing it, and we can't allow this trade. Because that's the thing. Even if the NHL really thought, we should let this go through on some level, they can't. Because the NHLPA go after them, and rightfully so. There's a reason there's no trade clauses and there's no movement clauses. And it's trades like this that show why they're there. Dadonov's a veteran in the NHL. He earned the right to that no trade clause. He earned it in that contract. And so he earned the right to say, these are areas I'm not going to go. These are teams I won't play for. I don't want to be traded there. That's his right. And I respect that, and I respect players that get those clauses. People get mad at GMs for giving out those clauses, and there are players that sometimes get a no movement or a no trade that maybe it looks kind of odd. But veteran players kind of earn that right. And it's not that they won't waive those clauses, very often they will. They want the right to say no in certain situations, and I think that's okay. I think that makes a lot of sense. So for Dadonov, he is now a member of the Golden Knights once again. They can put him back in the lineup. Do you put Dadonov back in the lineup? I think you kind of have to. He is costing them under the cap. They can't put Stone back in. They can't put Martinez back in. You have to put Dadonov back in the lineup. And it is going to be awkward. Awkward with him being back in the locker room. Not for him with his teammates. I am sure his teammates are perfectly fine with him. He's fine with them. But in dealing with some management types, could be a little bit awkward. So I'm sure they'll try to smooth that over. The problem is they cannot put Stone or Martinez back in the lineup. Because again, that whole, well, they're going to wait till the playoffs and Stone's going to come in. This is just, it's a big old, they've rigged it up. It doesn't work if you don't make the playoffs. So, honestly, I don't know what happens from here. I would think Dadonov being back in the lineup, I almost guarantee he'd score at least a goal that first game back. Like, hey, I can do this. And it is interesting. It's like I've said, Vegas has got this fixation on the upgrade. Where, okay, we've got this spot. Can we upgrade that? So we're going to upgrade the blue line. We're going to upgrade our forward group. And so they pick up a Martinez. They pick up Pietrangelo. They pick up Stone. They pick up Pacioretty. They pick up Eichel. And along the way, they've shed a lot of parts. Both that were part of that 2018 team that goes all the way to the finals. And you have team chemistry. Chemistry is really important in the NHL. When Don Waddell took over Carolina, did he completely tear it down? No, he kept a lot of that team together. He picked those small little areas that need to be fixed, like goaltending, and he fixed it. And Carolina has been in the playoffs. This will be their 4th straight year in the playoffs, and they are a contender. But in terms of huge, big, blow-em-up moves, there really weren't very many. It was a very precise, very well thought out plan. And in Vegas, it just feels like the moves they make, you bring in Stone, you bring in Eichel, you bring in Pietrangelo, you bring in these big names. Those are moves that are normally made by a team that's looking for a big shift, like New Jersey did by bringing in Dougie Hamilton in the offseason, right? And team chemistry is important. It's part of the reason why Vegas's best line is the Misfits line. They've played together for years. Smith, Carlson, Marchessault, these guys know where the other guys are going to be on the ice at all times. They can cover for one another. They know their strengths and weaknesses. They know each other so well, year in and year out. And that's something that you can't measure. There are advanced stats that would tell you how effective those lines are or aren't. But you can't measure chemistry when you're putting a team together on paper. As much as the NHL video games will tell you, hey, you put those 3 guys together, you automatically have +2 chemistry. You don't know until they're out there together. And it feels like there's been moves made the whole way along that affect the chemistry of the team. And sure, the team is more talented now than the one that was all the way in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2018. But are they better? And I think that's a whole argument of a different variety, right? Is the team better or is it more talented? And sometimes the more talented team isn't better. This is the argument we always have at playoff time when teams get knocked out in the playoffs and we say, yeah, they had a lot of talent, but the heart, right? And the heart sometimes comes down to the chemistry too. So for Vegas, I get this feeling that if this team misses the playoffs, we might see some other big moves take place because, you did big brash moves being made by Vegas. And I don't know that they needed some of the moves they made. I don't know that they needed Jack Eichel. Did they need another center? Yes. Did they need Jack Eichel? I don't think that they did with the lineup they had. I like Jack Eichel. I still think he can be one of the best centers in the National Hockey League. He hasn't been so far since his return. That's to be expected. Not every player goes to a new team and just fits in like Kopp did last night with the Rangers. Just ridiculous. But some players it takes a little while longer, right? And so that might be part of what's going on with Eichel. He's also coming back from major neck surgery, and he hasn't been playing hockey for a long time. And meanwhile, in Buffalo, the play of Alex Tuch, which has been fantastic since his return from injury, and then Peyton Krebs looking like he's going to be a top 6 forward. It's those kinds of things that we're going to look back on and say, did Vegas make that mistake? Pacioretty's a great goal scorer. Would they be better off with Suzuki down the middle than they are with Pacioretty on the wing? And I think those are valid questions we can look at. And I think once we get into the offseason, if Vegas misses the playoffs, be a fascinating video I can do on that. And this trade will be part of it. It's nullified. It's gone. The trade's gone. So, yeah, interesting. And right now, again, 1 point behind a playoff spot, and they do not have games in hand on the team they're chasing. Let me know your thoughts regarding this ongoing situation in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.